There it is. The beef between Philadelphia and the suburbs due to bad policymaking continues, Dom. My headphones falling out. Ace Attorney Wally Zimmerlong takes on the city, and AG Merrick Garland makes a visit. That's all this week in KRASNERLAND. So a lot going on in the world of Larry Krasner this week. Last week we touched upon, me and Anthony with Dom out, a little bit on the beef between the Enquirer and suburban officials. Camden's official spoke out, or Camden County's Luke Capelli of Camden County spoke out, a commissioner. Then Pat Malloy, Abington Police Chief, spoke out. And the Philadelphia Enquirer really went at both of those individuals defending Larry Krasner. And today, Dom, we announced on air that we got a release from a neighboring to Abington city, Bensalem. They're speaking out in favor of Abington, speaking out against the crime here in Philadelphia. What did you learn today?
Yeah, it's another border town. In fact, they bill themselves as a border town, like a foreign country, which is Philadelphia. They're hell-bent. I know the mayor, DiGirolamo, very well. The police chief there looks like a guy out of Central Casting. He could play a movie, Cops, and he would look like it big time, like a Hollywood star type of thing. And they're writing about, when you see this guy's background, Pat Malloy is also, right? These clowns in Philadelphia don't understand how professional these guys are, how brilliant they are. It's not your dad's cop brigade or whatever. Incredible background, writing about not just Krasner, but the driving equity bill and the slow walk of the courts. Ultimately, it's going to be unconstitutional. Pennsylvania has a vehicle code. Everybody should have to follow it, even Philadelphia. The damage that this has done. The bottom line is this. We're seeing now several places come out, and it just occurred to me during the show. It's a simple thing. The number one job of a president, governor, any executive, commissioners, or mayor is what? Public safety. Protect. That's the first job. Economic development's even second to that. It's public safety. If these other people in the suburbs think that we're going to let them go, these people are speaking out, several of them now, if they all would, could Philadelphia, are they afraid Philadelphia is going to strike back at them? They're going to be called a racist or something?
Like, why not? Have the courage.
Yes. But talk about they're scared to death of this crime seeping in. Now, I could be wrong, but those 7-Eleven, 6 of them, I think, in the last week or so, hit in the suburbs. I'm convinced the people doing it are from Philadelphia. And I'm convinced they have records. I don't know about with Krasner or not. It all comes back to Philadelphia. Yeah.
Security video shows the frightening moments. An armed suspect wearing distinctive green gloves points his gun at customers and then forces an employee to open the cash register. It happened at this 7-Eleven on Ridge Avenue in Roxborough early Tuesday morning.
I don't know what's in the mind of some criminals when they commit these crimes when cameras are visible.
We do, JJ.
A retired FBI
yes, we'll answer it for you. Put me on as an expert. I'll tell him. Yeah.
Well, the reason, let's answer it for him. It's because there's no accountability whatsoever. It doesn't matter if there's cameras. What's going to happen to them if they're caught on the camera?
I'm really surprised, too, with the FBI and others supposedly on this, Dan. I know things that could take a while, but they left a glove at the scene with DNA evidence, et cetera. I mean, I think the good police know this. This has to be all out. It's not just the danger to the public. It's just the arrogance of this that they're going to continue to do is with the stupid green glove. Stuff like that says to me, we need people that are just all out, will stop at nothing to catch these creeps in the end.
And because of that, companies have to adapt, and it makes the quality of living horrible for all of us. Thanks, Krasner. Take a watch.
Listen to this. A big change is coming to a Wawa in Philadelphia. It's about to go digital. Wawa released a picture of the fully digital store in University City. There are no shelves. Ooh. All items must be purchased on the Wawa mobile app or on the in-store touchscreens. Then a worker behind the counter grabs your items. Right now, the store is in the testing stage.
Interesting.
Right?
If it's faster, then
there you go.
What? If it's faster? Oh, it's about speed, lady. Give me a break. What universe is this woman covering stuff in? It's about faster to do that with no shelves. How could it be faster for the employee to have to go and get said items and bring them up? I like to see 100 people come in. I want to see if it's faster. Let's bring the Mayfair 100 in to test it.
Working in retail, as I have in the past, it's risk management. It's risk management. They're losing so much money on these thefts that they want it all locked up, and you can't do it like the mom and pop shops around Philadelphia, where you have
bring that back. I wanted to see where they go that she gets it's faster. Like, where do they go to get these items since there's no shelves there and all? Is it in
So, from what I understand, like, you know how the pharmacy, like Port Richmond Pharmacy, it's set up that you have like a little room that you walk in, and then you talk to a teller what you need, and then they'll go behind, and everything's behind glass, and they'll get it, organize it for you, then hand you what you ordered. So you don't get a choice. You don't get to like browse or anything like that. You just got to know what you want. You make your order, and then they bring it to you.
Yeah.
And that's
how in the world is this about speed? It can't possibly be.
Listen to this. A big change is coming to a Wawa in Philadelphia. It's about to go digital. Wawa released a picture of the fully digital store in University City. There are no shelves. Ooh. All items must be purchased on the Wawa mobile app or on the in-store touchscreens. Then a worker behind the counter grabs your items. Right now, the store is in the...
I know what's going to happen here, Dom. So you see this big space right here? So what you do is you walk up to the kiosk, you order it, and then you go around here and you pick up your food, right?
Yeah.
You know how at the DMV they have those cheap plastic chairs with the placards that are laminated with the number on them? And you got to wait until your chair's number is called? They're going to set them up right here because during the lunch rush, you're going to place your order and you're going to get an understaffed Wawa trying to fulfill 30, 40 orders at the same time. So good luck making that, quote, faster, NBC 10.
Yeah, you know what? Let's use that again next week and see if they have the chairs for there. I mean, it's just, you're right. Wawa's smart. Why would you have all that space in there? You would just have a tinier place, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't imagine. You know how impatient I am. I'm never going to that store. Bad idea. University City, I can imagine. They probably have to lock up the frozen goods or whatever. How about coffee and all that? Do they go
I think it's one of the higher, like, frequented Wawas, too, like, in the entire chain. I think I read that somewhere.
You know how much sugar you want to put in or cream or what feels right or what doesn't. What are they going to tell them, you know,
So not only does Wawa not have a drive-through, because you got to already go in for your coffee, but now you got to go in for your coffee, order for it, and wait for it.
Yeah.
So, like, the only positive that Wawa had going for it is, unlike Starbucks, you could go in, fill your cup, go check you out. It was so freaking convenient, and they're taking it away. They're taking it away.
Well, you know, I want to see if the media covers this, to your point, within a week or so, to see what all that space is about. It's just another example. And Wawa, you know what? I like Wawa, as we know, but they haven't done enough. I get it. They're fearful. What are they afraid of speaking out? They give the city millions of dollars. Why don't they just speak out and say, we can't operate in Philadelphia like this?
A new solution in Philadelphia, since we can't operate like this, is how about we ask nicely? Knock on some doors, ask nicely for people to start, you know, being good to one another.
Yeah.
City officials reached out to people living on Christian Street in the Graduate
Look at this guy. Hold on. Just wait. When the guy answers the door, just watch his. Imagine looking out your window after your dog's barking and you see the police commissioner, a guy in a suit.
Oh, I feel safe.
All these people are showing up at your door. Watch his reaction.
This area, specifically 17th and Christian Streets, was a deadly crime scene exactly 1 week ago.
I love it.
An 18-year-old man police identified as Sadiq Dove was gunned down near the Christian Street YMCA, and investigators believe the victim was targeted in the ambush.
Maybe we can get some witnesses to come forward.
Commissioner Danielle Outlaw tonight joined Councilmember Kenyatta Johnson, officers, and YMCA staff on a peace walk.
We're just doing a peace, not guns, public safety walk. The young man was murdered in the corner.
Let people know they're still looking for 3 suspects and investigating the July 26 shooting. Kenyatta heard from neighbors, including Sonia Paris, who held back tears when told city data shows an overwhelming majority of gunshot victims in Philly this year are Black men.
And I just pray that they just do everything that they can to get this resolved, because it's sad. It's sad. I want my young brothers to make it.
Well, Sonia, you're talking to the people that have the power to resolve this. They just refuse to do so.
Yes. Again, the Dom Giordano home game of connecting dots here with Sonia. and others. And by the way, Malcolm Kenyatta leading this spends a lot of time in the courtroom himself. He hasn't been convicted yet, but we'll see how that turns out. And Danielle Outlaw on a peace walk. That's not your job. Your job should be on a walk of arresting criminals.
Howdy, Minnie. How you doing? Thank you for joining us. I appreciate the howdy too, being from Texas. They're trying to divert blame as much as they can. And we had Wally Zimmelong on this week because he's representing those Philly gun shops that now Philadelphia's coming after. So tell us a little bit about that, Dom.
Yeah, Wally Zimmelong, top kind of our attorney in residence, is defending one of these gun shops. They're following the law, and yet they're blamed for straw purchasers. And he agreed with me. What we need are more cops dedicated to undercover work to go after straw purchasers. And when the straw purchaser is caught, to put him in jail for longer periods of time and to put a felon away by law for 10 years if they have a gun. They can't have a gun. Don't commit a felony if you want to have a gun.
So pretty simple. Simple. And then finally, Dom, federally recognized now Attorney General that we love so much, Merrick Garland.
Yes.
He
Talk about an uncomfortable looking guy. We'll tease it for upcoming. He's in the middle of North Philly on National Night Out. And people
I think he went over to Camden first, too, didn't he? Wasn't he over in Camden?
Yeah, I think he went somewhere to the suburbs. And people are saying, this guy is in charge of law enforcement? Oh, yeah.
So before we get to that, I just want to bring back up, Minnie says euphemism is shrinkage. That's what it is, shrinkage, when you're losing so much due to the stealing. When I worked
wait a minute, Minnie. I resent that shrinkage talk. Is this a Seinfeld reference?
He said, why do you have to make this so difficult after seeing a locked case of condoms? Because people steal.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. If you're like, say, 18, 19, going in and getting condoms, and they got to go through a locked case. How many would you like?
You gotta press the button. It rings. Attendant needed in the sexual aisle.
Right, and then there's a sizing part. You know what? That's a whole thing. Embarrassing products that you got to go and ask somebody for. Oh my God, some kind of itching products of one sort or another. Not that I would know about that. Yeah.
Going in to buy the feminine hygiene products from Asia.
There you go. There we go. Yep.
That's always a good one. In today's world, you get looks saying, "Is this for you?"
Yeah. Exactly. Well, no, you don't get looks. Yes, sir, or I didn't mean to call you.
Oh, yeah, there are no looks anymore. You're right. Yeah. Here's that story about Merrick, Dom.
Great. It's important for both the communities and police. For police, they get to meet the people they're serving. And for neighbors, it's a chance to meet police in a positive environment. And in this case, it's also a chance for everyone to meet the Attorney General who was there.
All right, before we make fun of Merrick Garland, your thoughts on National Night Out as an idea in general?
Yeah, it's a good idea. It used to be. I did broadcasts from it over in Ballackinwood, Dan, when the station used to be there the first few years. And, there was a good feeling around it. But how about more good feeling toward cops during the course of the year? And you made the point again today. Why don't we have celebrities in Philadelphia that would be on a campaign to tell police it's a noble profession. When you grow up, you can be a cop, and publicly out there, they might inspire hundreds of people one way or another who are on the fence about becoming a cop. Are the Philadelphia police not asking, or are they being rejected on that?
It's a good question, because you have someone, the person I mentioned off air today is Bryce Harper, who's here for another 9 years or so.
Yeah.
He's already beloved in Philadelphia. He seems like he might lean a certain way politically. I don't know for sure. So I mean, let's do it. I'm sorry, I'm laughing at this comment from Minnie saying feminine hygiene ?
Yeah.
I'm trying to be a PC here, Minnie. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear from Merrick. Sorry about this.
And tell them what Philadelphia needs. Walking down West Montgomery Avenue in North Philadelphia, U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland asked neighbors like Vanessa Jackson what needs to change in their community.
We need more officers on the street, first of all.
This as police departments across the country reached out to their communities for National Night Out, an event meant to build relationships.
I feel like their presence out here will make a difference with a lot of the robbing, killings, and things that's going on.
This block is no stranger to violence. Earlier this year, Temple University Police Sergeant Christopher Fitzgerald was shot and killed here while on duty.
Even though we suffered a tragic loss with Chris passing away and dying in the line of duty, that there are great things that come from the ashes of despair. And this is one of the things that's coming from the ashes of despair.
His wife.
So,
well, Merrick Garland, by my count, had 4 guys with, there's a no-neck guy. Then there's a no-neck guy with broad shoulders and sunglasses as guardians. I had the sunglasses. Why did they need the sunglasses? It was almost at night. And the reason is there's Secret Service or some marshals, heavily armed. Probably one of them has an Uzi. It wouldn't have been interesting if the woman had said in front of the media, yeah, I'd like to have guys with no necks around here that have Uzis.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I love community policing. I love the idea that walking the beat. We had Gabriel Rodriguez over in Camden come over and talk about how his cops, they essentially have like people on the street, like older women that live on the street that'll call him with tips and all. Like, it's a fantastic thing to have that kind of relationship. The thing is, you have leaders here, Danielle Outlaw, Larry Krasner, Merrick Garland, marching around essentially saying we need more community policing, where they have a criminally understaffed police force due to their own rhetoric.
Yeah, and by the way, Jim Kenney was casing out Wegmans National Night Party, so he was not around.
But how can you expect an officer to walk the beat if you don't have enough officers to even fill the beats?
Right.
Like,
and Sherelle Parker coming into office, that's her challenge. I still haven't heard the answer to it definitively, other than to throw up your hands. It's job one. If you can't do this, you shouldn't be mayor, police commissioner, or whatever, if you can't recruit cops. And then if you want to spill your guts and come on the show and say, easy for you to say, people hate cops in Philadelphia. They don't want them. Which one is it? I don't know that the average Philadelphian really wants more cops. I think they're liars often when they say that, because they certainly don't say any in the area, center city types. They don't want more cops. I don't think they do.
I think they want more cops to get through the normal amount, but they don't want more than where we need to be. Does that make sense?
I don't think they want any
cops. You think they're
all.
happy with the ranks of negative? Like,
yeah, they're fine with it. They want to defund the police. They want to diminish it.
But how can they do crap like this, Dom, and march around like Merrick Garland, a very progressive liberal individual?
Well, they do it because it's a photo op. It's a good thing to do that. It's a feel good.
Like I just don't understand how people
Dan, I just wanted to make a point. There's only one thing that stops this type of photo opery. I happen to see this week, and I'll say it on the show tomorrow. That
photo opery.
The immortal Joe the Plumber. Remember Joe the Plumber? You weren't doing talk radio then. It was am I right? Was it in Michigan? Why do I think it was in Michigan? Obama was used to walking around. Nothing bothered him. I think it was the first time or second time he was running.
2008. 2008.
Yes. So Joe the Plumber, of all people, confronts him, and Obama starts giving a socialist thing. We should play that tomorrow. About, can't we all whack it up? Joe the Plumber in his backyard, Dan, is standing there, got Obama to say the socialist stuff. I track him down, and he says, hey, buddy, toilet just flowed over me. And I'm going, but I need you on the show. Joey Vento arranged a private plane. We flew Joe the Plumber into Northeast Philadelphia, and I had him on the show at Gino's with Joey Vento for 2 hours.
Toledo, Ohio, it looks like.
Yeah, that's right, Toledo, Ohio. And Obama walks into his backyard, and the guy wasn't yelling or whatever. They just start talking, and Obama lost his mind and started. It was a big deal. And this guy has stage 3 cancer. I was thinking about him the other day. When you had him there in person, Joe the Plumber and Joey Vento, you can't make it up. I mean, it was magical. The only guy that got Obama to give it up about what he really thinks.
So it would be an interesting interview. I wonder if he's still
Joe the Plumber. Yeah, I think he would be.
To see what he's been up to since he was national headline.
Let me write that one down. Yeah, I don't know. I have to look up. But
he's allegedly still around, and
yeah. Oh yeah, he did an interview the other day talking about
cancer
or whatever. I think he did it. But Dan, the beauty of it is, Obama was just used to walking around, everybody catering, so they let him unscripted. He wanders in the yard, he sees them and starts waving to him. Joe the Plumber just comes over and gets him to say, well, why can't we all share and do all this type of stuff? Why do people need that much money? And he didn't hammering or whatever. It was shocking, and his popularity exploded. But seeing him come in the door at Gino's, Joey Vento, flying him in on a private plane to the Northeast Philly airport. Oh,
I love it. Minnie writing in, it seems like Mr. Mom had a scene where the overhead announced Michael Keaton needed a price check on feminine hygiene products, and he was horrified.
Here we go again.
Word of the day, feminine hygiene.
Yes. Now, I got to get on that Wawa story tomorrow. My miss today, I think you're right. You're going to see folding chairs like you're in the Soviet Union. Those worn out chairs, people scraping them. Is that coffee ready yet? Oh, yes. It'll be ready in the next half hour.
Yeah, just for the late joiners here. We're talking about it here. Go back and watch. We're going to be ending here, so it's going to be a shorter episode, so you can watch the full thing.
Who told Wawa to come up with this? Who told them that?
So listen to this. The big change is coming to a Wawa in Philadelphia. It's about to go digital. Wawa released a picture of the fully digital store in University City. There are no shelves. All items must be purchased on the Wawa mobile app or on the in-store touchscreens. Then a worker behind the counter grabs your items. Right now, the store is in the testing stage.
Interesting.
Right?
If it's faster, then
there you go.
How about robots next?
Thanks, Krasner. Appreciate it.
Hey, are you going to get on that hoagie? I want to know what the Mayfair Wawa 100 woman has to say. That's a Joe the Plumber woman. That's what I'd love to. What were you thinking when you continued to order the hoagie?
Like, I'm willing to make a bet with somebody that this ends in absolute disaster for Wawa. Like, lines just nonstop. People complaining, bitching that they haven't gotten their food
it's not
yet.
like Dylan Mulvaney and Bud Light, but Wawa knows they're. What the hell are they thinking?
And
I know what it
is. I don't
Dave.
blame Wawa for. They have to get creative though, because they're losing tons of money. Like 7-Eleven, we played it.
This is you may be right. This is a very busy Wawa. We got to stay in the city. And then the other guy goes, "Are you nuts? Look at what they're doing here. Let's not have anything there. Anything that can go wrong. No robberies, etc." Imagine the poor people. You're right, working there at lunch. I bet you would need 20. Oh, you just go to the back and get it. What Wawa have those?
And in today's economy, to assume that it won't be understaffed is a reach. You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, thanks, Krasner. Happy that you're changing.
Thank you, Larry. And Larry, I'll get back to you on those feminine hygiene products. Yes.
That's all we got for today's KRASNERLAND. But tune in tomorrow at 12:30. Dom, who do we got coming on?
We have the police commissioner over in Ben Salem, real stand-up guy, calling out Philadelphia again and having the back of other police in the area that have been under fire from Philadelphia. I wonder if Larry Krasner would ever be able to answer this guy. Or is it just me, or do people not want to have debate? The media ought to be agitating. Wouldn't this be Grand Central? Larry Krasner debating somebody who's law and order. I'd be happy to fill in. I promise there would be no going over top of the table. I can't promise that.
I love it. Well, Dom, actually, let me say that will be right here on YouTube.
I'm telling you this, if he cleans the glasses in front of me, I'm taking mine off. Dan, bring up some more material here. I'm going to need this for this Krasner thing.
So Dining with Dom tomorrow at noon. Tune in right here on the youtube.com/@1210WPHT. And if you happen to stumble upon KRASNERLAND, this first time you're seeing me or Dom, know that we're both working for 1210 WPHT, a great radio station, 50,000 watts. From the time we launch in the morning at 5:30 and to the time that we end at 7 p.m., it's great hosts, including the guy that you see right here, Dom Giordano, who's on every day from noon until 3.
I'm not always this tan either. You can't expect that every day.
It's the lighting. I helped you out too a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will pray that it's much harder to prepare for next week's show. There's less crime, but until then, we will see you on the Dom Giordano program. See y'all later, everyone.
Take care, everybody.